going on with y'all? It's your boy NeohXO, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about chapter 263 of Black Clover. This is pretty much going to be my prediction video for that chapter. And looking back at chapter 262, it's pretty easy to tell what direction the story's going. I know sometimes it can seem like it's very hard, but Nacht is pretty much, I'm telling y'all right now, Nacht is pretty much going to give the captains information that they have never heard before. And I know this because in chapter 262, Nacht tells Asta that he's been undercover the whole time, and he put a lot of emphasis on whole, like he said the whole time. And we know that he's actually been undercover because we've seen him like way back whenever it wasn't even revealed who Nacht was. We've seen him undercover, and we've seen him looking at some documents from the Spade Kingdom, so we know he has information. He took out a Dark Disciple, and he possibly could have interrogated that Dark Disciple, because if you remember, he actually did use his magic and pull the Dark Disciple member into the void. Now, considering the Dark Disciple works very closely with the Dark Triad, I'm pretty sure the Dark Disciple has some type of intel that he was going to get, especially if he's being interrogated by Nacht. The difference between a Dark Disciple member and Nacht is actually devil possessed. So he's going to be a lot stronger than a Dark Disciple member who doesn't have a actual devil in his possession. You know what I mean? So the fact that Nacht overpowered this Dark Disciple, he went in and infiltrated the Spade Kingdom, we've seen that, and he picked up documents. So he's read these documents, and he's been there a long time, guys. You gotta realize he's only been to the Black Bull's hideout about once. So he's been in the Spade Kingdom for a while. So he definitely came up with some information that only he could have, you know? Like, that's the thing about spies. That's why I really like his character, because spies are really cool, first of all. And like, it wouldn't make any sense for him not to have no information. And he pretty much said at the end of chapter 262 that he has information. So honestly, it looked like he took over the meeting. I'm predicting that they're not gonna like that pretty much, because they don't know who that is. Like Jack, you can see Jack and Nozel were kind of getting into it in chapter 262. Now you can imagine how Nacht just pops up in there, and they're like, who is this guy? We don't really even know him, and he just popping up into the captain meetings. Like, that's unacceptable. So they might have like a few words for him. Like, they might even try to attack Nacht, like, honestly, because Nacht got in there so quickly. That just shows how stealthy Nacht is. Nacht is really stealthy, and I don't want anybody to try to tell me that the captains could have, you know what I'm saying, like, not let him sneak in like that, because the way Tabata drew the characters, you can clearly tell, because they have like motion lines. So that indicates that Nacht got in there so fast that pretty much the captains didn't even notice, because if the captains noticed, Tabata would have no reason to draw motion lines whenever they see Nacht. They ain't even see Nacht coming. He was so fast. But I think that Julius definitely needs to say some stuff. Like, Julius just looks like he's in shock. Like, Julius, I don't even think, I read the chapter multiple times, but you know, I'm human, sometimes I could get stuff wrong. But from my memory of reading the chapter multiple times, I did not see Julius say anything in chapter 262. Now, Julius is the Wizard King. He definitely needs to say something, and I was definitely expecting him to say something whenever the captain started behaving irrationally. Jack was really gonna leave and go to the Spade Kingdom. Now, if that were to happen, we all know that since the Spade Kingdom has 3 Dark Triad members, Jack would have been dealt with by the Dark Triad members. Let's just be honest here. He cannot take on 3 by himself. And the thing about Jack is he's severely underestimating the Dark Triad, because we can tell this, because when Yuno said that they're stronger than, Yuno said this, all right guys, like, I'm just saying what's in the chapter. It's a fact. Yuno says, and we know Yuno faced off, we know Yuno has seen captains fight, and we know Yuno has seen Dark Triad members fight. All right, so he says in the chapter that the Dark Triad is stronger than captains. Straight up. And he not only said they're stronger than captains, he also goes on to say that they were not even trying their best. And you know this because he says they weren't even serious. So if he's saying they're not even serious yet, and he's saying that they're stronger than the captain, imagine when they get serious. All right, And I want to say this because a lot of people are like, the Dark Triad were trying their hardest. They really were not, all right? We can tell, I can go down the list. Xenon was not trying his hardest because he didn't even have to use his full devil power to deal with William. Let's be honest. Same thing with Ivanka. She did not have to use her full devil power to deal with Noelle. She didn't. Now, it could be argued that she did have to go all out against Noelle, but the thing is, that's actually a good argument. So if you say she had to go out against Noelle, all right, cool. I'll accept your argument, all right? But the thing is, she was not really trying, you know what I mean? If she were trying, Noelle wouldn't have really been able to do as much as Noelle did. Now, Noelle did very impressive against her, but you can tell by the way she was acting, all right? She was literally playing around. She could have just went straight to using all of her devil power straight up, but she didn't do that. Because if you're serious, you're gonna get serious. You're not gonna play around. So it's a good argument if you say she went all out against Noelle. I definitely don't think she did, especially considering that Magicula could have taken over her body at any moment if she chose to do so. But I'm not even gonna get into that. Dante could have won his fight, honestly, if he would have stopped playing around. Like, he was literally playing around with Asta, and if he really wanted to, he could have killed Asta multiple times if it were not for Vanessa's fate magic. Let's just be honest here. So, point being, the Dark Triad is a lot stronger than we have seen so far, and from a narrative perspective too, just like making sense, Tabata not gonna show you their full power straight away, you know what I mean? Now, Dante is kind of questionable. That man really looked like he had to go full out, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, he wasn't really serious all the way through. He got serious towards the end, all right? Imagine if he was serious all the way through, he would have dealt with Asta before Yami even got there, and it's questionable if Yami would have been able to defeat him without Asta because of Asta's anti-magic. Basically, I'm gonna tell y'all a couple things that need to happen. Alright, so first off, what needs to happen is we need to hear from Julius. Like, Julius, I know you're like not in your prime anymore, but you're still the Wizard King. Alright, you're the Wizard King, you're supposed to command these captains, and the fact that he's not saying anything is maybe in his head he's thinking like, maybe it's time for me to step down as the Wizard King and promote someone else as that title. I mean, the man's not in his prime no more. He's not even saying anything, and I know what he's thinking in his head. He's thinking in his head like, he can't even do anything. He can't. Julius can't do anything right now, and it's killing him. I know it is. Inside, it's killing him. That's why he's so silent. He can't say anything, because in his prime, Julius would have went out and smacked them, the Dark Triad. He would have smacked them. Now, I'm not saying he could take on the whole Dark Triad by itself, but I'm just saying he would have did something. But in his current form, he can't do nothing. So it might be time to start considering the next Wizard King. Another thing that's going to happen is Nacht is going to give them the information, because we know Nacht has information. I already kind of went over that in the beginning of the video. And another thing that needs to happen is we need to find out what happened to Noelle and the rest of the Heart Kingdom. What happened in the Heart Kingdom? Now, just for the fact that Noelle is one of the main characters, from that, we can say that she's not dead. All right, come on, she's not gonna get off screens like that. So she's still alive, but we need to hear from her. We need to see something from her. So the beginning of the chapter is Nacht is going to give them some information, and then towards the end of the chapter, we're either gonna see Nacht and Asta begin their training, or we're gonna see Noelle in the Heart Kingdom give them the information, and they're gonna come up with some type of plan. That's what we're gonna see. But that's pretty much all I had to get into in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeohXO, and I'm out.